Hi, welcome to tutorial 6.2 part 2. This is pretty similar to the last tutorial. We're going to talk again about the interaction of photons with electrons in an atom, but this time it's going to require a little bit more kind of finessing of the numbers in order for us to manage numbers that come in different forms. So notice what the question is here. It says a sample of sodium metal is exposed to light with a frequency of 1.26 times 10 to the 15th. That's already new. Before we had an energy term here. We knew how much energy each of these chunks of light had. This time we're told the frequency. So we're going to have to figure out how much energy that is. The next part says what will be the kinetic energy. Well, that's like what we had before. But instead of being told the work function in joules, we're told it in electron volts. So we've got some unit issues. Here's what we're going to do. Find out how much energy this is. Figure out how much energy these electron volts are in joules, and then just subtract the numbers to make sure we have enough energy left over to have some in the form of kinetic energy. And if we don't, if it turns out that this 2.36 electron volts is greater than the number we come in with, we'll say Na, meaning we can't talk about any kinetic energy of the electron ejected because it's not ejected. All right, let's go to it. First part is we need to convert the energy of light with this frequency, find the energy of light with this frequency. So we have to turn these number of hertz into a certain number of joules. Well, how do I do that? The equation for that is that the energy is equal to Planck's constant times the frequency of light. So that's just a fact that we're going to memorize about photons. Every time you have a photon, if you want to know how much energy does it have per chunk, simply multiply the frequency of that light by this kind of large number. It's called Planck's constant. And notice the units here. We have joules times seconds, and they cancel with seconds. That is 1 over seconds being the unit for frequency. And we're left with the unit joules. All right, so when we do it in this case, we multiply these two numbers. We get 8.35 times 10 to the minus 19. Great, we know how much energy we came in with the photon. Now let's see, do we have enough to get that electron away from that atom? Well, the work function is given in electron volts, and here's another conversion. We're going to have to turn those electron volts into joules. Pretty straightforward. You just multiply by 1.6 times 10 to the minus 19 joules per electron volt. We multiply and it says great. Looks like we have enough. We came in with more than 3.78, so we have enough to get the electron away from the atom. This is the energy that we came in with per chunk of light. This is what we need to remove the electron. That is the binding energy or work function. Subtracting these two leaves me with some energy left over. 4.57 times 10 to the minus 19 joules. And we've answered the question. That's what we're after, is how much energy we have in the form of kinetic energy left over after we've removed the electron. Okay, let's try another one. Just one more actually, and then we'll be done with this. So the question here is a little different. Again, it looks like the formatting and all is kind of similar when you see these boxes. We have energy in two forms, the work function and the kinetic energy. And like before, we're going to add these numbers up to figure out how much energy we came in with. But again, a unit issue. We're asked for the number of the wavelength of this light, not how much energy we have. So we're going to have to turn the energy that we figure out into a frequency, what kind of frequency that light has to have that energy. And then once we know the frequency of light, divide that into the speed of light to get the wavelength in meters. All right, so let's give it a shot. Well, first of all, how are we going to add these numbers up? Well, they have to have the same unit, so we're going to have to convert those electron volts into joules. I think we know how to do that from the last segment. So here we go. 3.66 multiplied by 1.6 times 10 to the minus 19 like before. I now know the work function in the right unit, joules. Let's add that to the kinetic energy that was left over. Here we go. Add the two together. That gives you the amount of the total energy that light must have delivered to that electron that was then distributed into these two parts. All right, so we have light coming in with 1.05 times 10 to the minus 18. Remember, what I'm trying to get to is the wavelength of the light that has that much energy. And the only thing I can do with energy is to figure out the frequency of that light. So I'm going to write out my Planck's constant equation. The energy per chunk of light is Planck's constant times frequency. If I divide the energy that I already figured out by Planck's constant, then I can get the frequency of light. Here it is, the energy that I came in with, 1.05 times 10 to the minus 18, divided by Planck's constant, and I have the frequency. Almost home free. I have a frequency. I just need to find a wavelength. We know how to do that. Divide that into the speed of light. Here we go. Speed of light is the wavelength times the frequency. I solve for the wavelength. I divide the speed of light by that frequency, and I get 1.90 times 10 to the minus 7. It's nice to often identify the kind of light that we're talking about by looking at that wavelength or the frequency. In this case, we say, well, it looks like it's not quite in the visible range, because I kind of remember that the numbers go to 4 times 10 to the minus 7 when they're visible. Let's look at the chart and see that. So what kind of light is this? The numbers was remembering it, 1.9 times 10 to the minus 7. So where am I on the range? So let's find it. 10 to the minus 7 is here. 1.9 times 10 to the minus 7 is over a little bit, but I'm still in the UV. And I can kind of tell by looking here, I'd have to be at 4 times 10 to the minus 7, or 400 nanometers, to be in the visible area. So not quite visible, a little more energetic than visible light. It's a UV light. Great, that's it. So you notice that there's nothing particularly confusing about this, apart from getting used to all these units, electron volts to joules, making sure that you recognize that when you have frequency, you can get energy, or energy, you can get frequency, and then that relationship between frequency and wavelength, if you need to know the wavelength from the frequency, or vice versa. So a lot of unit conversions kind of thing, but apart from that, just a little practice, and I think you'll be in good shape. Great. All right, see you in class.